Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So seeing as the Sigma skins and cosmetics came out yesterday, there's quite a lot of hints, Easter eggs, really cool stuff that's been revealed, alongside some other bits and pieces that you may want to be aware of. The first is a change in Sigma's golden weapons. We already know that the orbs are going to be golden, but in a video from Kate Cheevables, which I'm showing on screen, his gloves have also become fairly golden. I don't have enough points to actually get the gold weapons for Sigma on the PTR, hence why we're using the gameplay in the background. So big shout out to Kate Cheevables. You can check out the YouTube channel in the description below, as well as the full video of what we've just shown. Next up are the new achievements that have been revealed for Sigma 2. To get the Pixel Spray and the Cute Spray. To get the Pixel Spray, you need to gain 350 shield with a single use of Kinetic Grasp, which means that you need to block 875 incoming damage with one Kinetic Grasp. So basically eat a whole hog or a justice, any damage coming in really. For the Cute Spray, you need to get 3 killing blows during a Sigma ult. It doesn't necessarily say that the targets need to hit the ground, that you need to get the killing blows that way. Just kill them through that whole notion. Maybe get a couple of picks in the air, slam the rest on the ground. Both of these don't seem too hard to get. It's just one of those things that maybe you'll have to do it over time as opposed to specifically focus them. Now I want to go over some of the sprays, the skins, and the teases and Easter eggs behind them. We'll go over the skins first. We start with the Asylum skin, which of course is an ode to Hannibal Lecter. Not specifically, but we know that when it comes to the face mask, Hannibal Lecter in the old Anthony Hopkins films at least really brought it to pop culture's attention. He'll be able to eat your ult with the side of lava beams and a nice Chianti, so just be careful of that. And then of course you have the Subject Sigma skin, which is from the Origin short where he's incarcerated. It's a nice skin, but the other two that I really wanted to highlight were the Oracle and Prophet ones. There's nothing specifically tied to these skins, but I definitely get the Demon Hunter vibe from WoW when it comes to the Oracle skin, whereas the Prophet one is more focused around Protoss from StarCraft. Again, not directly tied, not a specific reference to anything in particular. The sprays have a lot of hidden meanings and Easter eggs and some really cool stuff that's highlighted. I think Blizzard have done a really good job with the cosmetics for Sigma, and there's some really cool connections going on. The first I wanted to highlight was the damage spray of the MRI of Sigma. The MRI shows readings that look very similar to the first ever picture of a black hole, which was shown a couple of months ago. So there's definitely some correlation there. I don't necessarily think a black hole is going off in Sigma's mind, but it was just a nice little connection there. The equation spray kind of reminds me of this meme that I'm showing on screen. Not much else to really talk about there. Now this spray is pretty cool. It's named after the Dutch graphic artist Maurits Cornelis Escher, who's well known of doing a lot of art based around mathematical objects and operations, including impossible objects, explorations of infinity, symmetry, and other bits and pieces. His most famous piece of art, which has a lot to do with the spray that I'm showing you on screen, was Relativity, which shows this labyrinth art design that's been used a lot in pop culture ever since it was first introduced. But I like the connection between the labyrinth, the mathematical style of art, and Escher being a Dutch artist. There's a lot of connection to Sigma right there. Next up is Galileo with the famous bowling ball feather experiment. If you don't know what this is, thesis that when dropped from the same height, the bowling ball will hit the ground first instead of the feather, but this has nothing to do with the mass of the object, but because of air resistance on the feather and the bowling ball. The original experiment was that there were 2 balls thrown apparently by Galileo at the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. One ball was heavier than the other, but the objects fell with the same acceleration and landed at the same time, showing that the speed of the fall was not proportional to how much the ball weighed. But in a vacuum-like space where there is no air resistance, the feather and the bowling ball will land together at the same time, proving that gravity pulls object at the same acceleration, regardless of mass. Nice little science test for you there. But again, connects really nicely to Sigma. Now you have matchjaren. Sorry for the awful pronunciation, but this is a sauced herring, which I think is a Dutch delicacy. They're basically brined herrings. It can be served plain or with cut onions, which is what Sigma's eating. And the herring is often eaten by lifting the herring by its tail and eating it upwards, holding it to your mouth, like Sigma's doing in the spray, but here's also a picture of somebody else doing it too. You have the Night Sky spray, which of course is the famous Van Gogh painting. Van Gogh is of course a Dutch artist too. Then you have Schrodinger's cat, which Schrödinger isn't Dutch, he's Austrian, but in simple terms, going off Wikipedia at least, the Schrödinger's cat experiment stated that if you put a cat and something that could kill a cat, like a radioactive atom, in a box and seal it, you would never know if the cat was dead or alive until you opened that box. So until that box was opened, the cat was in a state of both dead and alive. This never happened, it was more of a hypothetical experiment, but it raised the point of being able to represent how scientific theories work. Nobody can know if a scientific theory is right or wrong until said theory can be tested and then proved. So if you didn't really know what Schrödinger's cat was about, now you know. Sigma's apple. This was an interesting one that we didn't get a solid answer for. I'm pretty sure that I've seen art similar to this in the past, but I couldn't locate a source material for it. Dreadraven Anziv on Twitter helped us out by saying it's very similar to Isha's Bond of Union picture, which I'm showing on screen, but also Ero Senheim did raise the point that with it being an apple, it might be connected to Isaac Newton, who is of course very well known for gravity, which again connects very well to Sigma. That's all of the sprays that have connections to science, art, Dutch tradition, or all three in some cases, which is crazy. Now here are some of the voice lines that are in Dutch that are translated. The first is just act normal.
Doe maar normaal, hè? Dan doe je al gek genoeg.
This translates to just act normal. If you act normal, you're already crazy enough. The next is if you can't handle criticism.
Wie boter op zijn hoofd heeft, moet uit de zon blijven.
This translates to a person who has butter on their head should not walk in the sun, which is a bit of a weird translation that might not make a lot of sense. But it is actually a Dutch saying, which basically means a person who doesn't have a clear conscience has to make sure that they don't get exposed to criticism, which is very similar to the English saying of people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. In case you didn't know, his ultimate line in Dutch is "The universe sings to me" as well. Finally, the last thing that I wanted to say is mentioning the voice actor for Sigma, Boris Heistend. Again, sorry about the bad pronunciation if you ever watched this, Boris. Not only is he the voice actor for Sigma and other various games, including Anthem, he's also worked as a senior animator in a lot of films, including Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, as well as being an animator in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and most importantly, of course, the Angry Birds film. But I did want to highlight it as I felt it was fairly interesting that we have a voice actor here that's worked alongside Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, maybe even 3. I don't know if he still does animation as well as voice acting. But that's everything that I wanted to go over today. Info on Sigma's gold weapons, the achievements, and all of the skins, cosmetics, and how they connect in certain elements. If I did miss any that you felt I should have highlighted, then let me know in the comments below. I didn't highlight stuff like the immovable object spray because the spray doesn't have much to do with anything, but of course the spray's title has a lot to do with the experiment. Immovable object versus unstoppable force. There's a few others like that I just didn't see the point in mentioning. But thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, take care, we'll see you next time.